Hi, I'm Jen, the Holistic Health Boss, your functional diagnostic health practitioner and business mentor, and I'm here to tell you that your credentials aren't what you do, and it's time to ditch them so that you can get more clients. Now, let me ask you this. Has someone ever asked you what you do? And when you say that I'm a maybe functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, or maybe that you're a functional health coach, or maybe that you're a nutritional endocrinology practitioner, or possibly that you're a certified nutritional therapist, or maybe you say that you're a functional medicine practitioner, and when you say what it is that you are, their eyes glaze over and you can tell that you've completely lost them in the maze of words that just came out of your mouth. So then you find yourself scrambling for the right words to describe what you do. But the deeper you go, the more confused they look until they give you a polite excuse to leave the conversation, or they just completely ghost you. And you kind of walk away thinking, what just happened? What did I do? The question is, how many potential clients have you lost in a scenario like this, whether it was as a result of an in-person conversation, email, or social media exchange? I get it. You've worked hard to get your credentials and you're proud of them just like I am. However, your credentials aren't what you do. And the sophisticated words used to designate your credentials tell the potential client on the other side of the conversation absolutely nothing about what it is that you actually do and how you can help them. Business and marketing research shows that character-driven stories with an emotional aspect result in a better understanding of what somebody is trying to communicate over strictly informational content, which is what most health practitioners default to. I want you to consider this. A study in 2010 found that character-driven stories actually increase the release of oxytocin, which I'm sure you're familiar with. It's an empathy chemical that motivates cooperation, understanding, and trust. Wouldn't you say that those are some really important factors when trying to convince a potential client that you have a valuable service to offer and that you can help them? This is exactly why you need to ditch your credentials and tell more stories in order to get more clients. And that's exactly why in this video, I want to share my top tips to help you ditch those credentials, tell more stories, and ultimately attract more clients so that you can have the impact that you want on the world and help more people feel good and get healthy. Now, you are much more familiar with storytelling tactics than you might think. Consider your favorite books, movies, and TV shows. What keeps you turning the page or on the edge of your seat when you're involved in those things? It's the story that is being told. Or how about the commercials on the abandoned animals and rescue shelters that instantly bring you to tears? It's the story that pulls at your heartstrings and your purse strings at the same time. Your story is the most powerful marketing tool that you have at your fingertips, and it doesn't cost you a thing. The key to getting more clients is sharing your story relentlessly and authentically. When you do it, it releases that oxytocin and instantly creates an emotional bridge of trust with the clients that you are trying to reach. Now, I bet most of the people you've worked with or hope to work with feel as if no one is listening to them or understands them. Storytelling actually shows them that you've been in their shoes, or maybe that a client of yours has, and that you get it, and that you know how to get them past their current struggles. It actually positions you as the expert. Think of your own health journey or the person that inspired you to do this work if it wasn't you. How did you get here? Likely because someone else's story inspired you, giving you the pieces of the puzzle to map out a similar path to success. This is why testimonials are so effective. They basically are showing the from to while highlighting you as the expert guide. However, sharing an endless list of testimonials can feel really salesy. And if you haven't worked with enough clients to have a long list of them, you're basically SOL, which is shit out of luck if you don't know that one. But what you do have unlimited access to is your story. An essential key to your business success is extracting marketing material from your personal story or from the person who inspired you to do this work. So here are my top tips to help you leverage your story to attract more clients and help more people. The first tip is to write out your story in great detail. The only rule when writing out your story is to avoid using too much technical industry jargon like leaky gut and adrenal dysfunction that you now know as a result of your acquired knowledge and expertise. Focus on using simple and common words to describe your experience as much as possible, and this will definitely come in handy later. I want you to start with where you were even before you realized that you had a health problem or wanted to work in this space. So way back when, think about what were the things that you were experiencing back then. What were you thinking? What were you feeling in that moment or those moments? What were you, how are you behaving and moving through life? Who were you being back then? And then I want you to continue to write out the journey that you took. What things did you try that didn't work? What were your daily frustrations? What was your rock bottom or the moment when you realized that something had to change? What obstacles or struggles did you then encounter along the way? And what were the key turning points, the things that you did or actions that you took that propelled you into a better path or better place? Now, I suggest taking an initial swing at this, then reviewing it and coming back to it as many times as you need in order to add more detail. To leverage your story as much as possible, you really want to deeply tap into what you were feeling, what you were thinking, and what you were doing or not doing throughout the journey. I want you to go deep, take up as much space and time as you need, type it, physically write it, or verbally record it to get it out. Now, my next tip is to dissect and extract content from your story to share on social media, blogs, newsletters, on your website, or any other place that you might come in contact with potential clients. Once you've written out your story in great detail, you can go back and pull out scenes like a movie to elaborate on in even more detail, painting the picture of the experience. Here's an example from a practitioner who did this exercise as part of my Practitioner's Business Essentials program and a social media post that she came up with as a result. Now, first, I want you to picture a selfie of this practitioner in her beautiful garden as she's all sweaty and dirty. And the post said, "A little over 5 years ago, I was in so much pain I couldn't spend time in the garden like I did today. Gardening is my obsession. It brings me joy, happiness, and an abundance of delicious foods. But for years, pain kept me from doing the thing that I loved the most. I would sit inside staring at my garden while I spent countless hours scouring the internet looking for answers to the debilitating pain that would take control of my body from the moment that I got out of bed. I watched as others went down the pain medication path and the unwelcome side effects that came along with it. And I vowed that I would never subject myself to that. I knew that there had to be a better way. And there actually was. By digging deeper, getting to the root of my pain just as I would in my garden, I found natural solutions that moved me from pain to peace. And here I am, after spending 5 hours in my garden without a single knee twinge or body ache. If you want to move from pain to peace, I would be happy to share what has helped me. Send me a message. End of post. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, but I haven't completely healed myself yet, you can still help others. And here's why. You will always be 2 steps ahead of your ideal clients by sharing your story as your most powerful marketing tool. When you share your story, it's practically impossible to attract a client that is farther ahead of you because they won't resonate with the place that you're at in your story. Based on sharing your story, you will attract the people who need exactly what you have to offer in this exact moment. This story exercise will give you all the material you need to tell people what you do in terms that they will understand. So it's time to start ditching your credentials and start storytelling. I would love to see what you've come up with. So feel free to tag me in any of your social media posts that you create as a result of this exercise. And if you want to elevate your storytelling skills and build a strong foundation for success, then I would love to invite you to join me in my Practitioners Business Essentials program and community, where you can get all the guidance and support that you need to create a wildly successful business that helps you heal hundreds of people while working less and taking better care of yourself. All right, I hope you found this incredibly insightful. I will see you in the next video.